Our topic for today is about financial statement analysis, specifically under vertical analysis and horizontal analysis. So, under financial statement analysis, this is a standardized tools and techniques that is used para po sa decision making ng ating mga um, owners or mga internal users. It analyzes financial information to pick out patterns and trends. Meaning, we are analyzing our financial statements. Hindi lang po after paggawa nun ay okay na. So, ina-analyze pa po yun and chine-check if there are patterns and there are trends or if there are used it for future or forecasting. It's also used to conduct comparisons and predictions and used to develop strategies and anticipate possible results. Under financial statement analysis, like what I've told you, it could be vertically or horizontally. Sabi natin vertically, patayo, horizontally is pahiga. So, pag vertical analysis po tayo, specific lang tayo sa kung anong period yon. So, kung year 3 lang yung nilalagyan natin analysis, year 3 lang yon. Pero kung horizontal analysis po, kino-compare po natin yung performance ng business from year 1 versus year 2 or year 2 versus year 3 or year 1 versus year 3. So, under financial statement analysis, ina-analyze nga natin itong mga financial statement na to, which is balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow. But in this case, we will only be discussing balance sheet and income statement. Why? Kasi po, under balance sheet and income statement, balance sheet and income statement lang po muna ang gagamitin natin para hindi kayo ganun ka daming gagawin. So, financial statement analysis includes horizontal nga po and vertical analysis to check the financial performance of the business. So, start muna tayo kay vertical analysis. Under vertical analysis, this is one of the methods in financial statement analysis and is also called as the common size analysis. Again, vertical analysis is also called as the common size analysis. It examines each line item as a percentage of a base item. So, inaalam natin kung ilang percent ng base item yung bawat line item. So, vertical analysis is also called as a static analysis, meaning it does not indicate any movement at all. So, kumbaga, hindi nga natin dito kino-compare yung ating wait lang ha. Yan po. Hindi po natin kino-compare po dito yung bawat year by year. Ang kino-compare po natin dito is yung ating base item versus the line item. For example, ang makikita po natin dito is how much of the total assets are composed of cash. So, sa total assets natin, ilang percent dun yung cash. Sa total asset natin, ilang percent dun yung long-term assets, and etc. So, under vertical analysis, it is very important as it could see the relative change in accounts over time. So, ang mga base item po natin ay nagbabago depende kung ano po yung financial statements na gagamitin po natin. So, under income statement, ang pinaka-base item po natin according dyan is our total sales or our sales itself. So, on balance sheet naman po, ang base item natin is yung total assets. Anong ibig sabihin ng base item? Doon po natin siya dinidivide lahat. So, ano pong ibig sabihin nun? For example here, yung nasa kaliwa po natin is an example of financial statement. Yung nasa kanan po natin is yung vertical analysis. Yan. Yung ginagawa nga po natin sa vertical analysis, again, is yung kinukuha po natin yung percentage ng bawat line item versus sa base item po natin. So, kapag balance sheet nga po, ang base item natin is yung total assets. So, ilang percent ng total assets si cash, ilang percent ng total assets si equipment, ilang total percent si furniture and fixtures. So, yun po yung gusto nating malaman dito. So, for example, para makuha natin si cash, we just have to divide 633,000. Ito, 633,000 divided by 993,000 times 100. Makukuha po natin tong si 63.75. On the other hand, sa equipment naman, para makuha ito, we just have to get the percentage of 250,000 out of 993. So, 250,000 divided by 993 is equal to 25.18%. So, that's it. Ganun din po sa ibang mga line item. So, bakit 0 po si total liabilities? Kasi po, 0 divided by 993,000 is equal to 0. So, wala po siyang percentage. Ang total equity po natin, total liabilities and owner's equity is always equal kay total assets, kaya po 100% din po sila. So far, naiintindihan na. Next naman po natin, paano naman po ginagawa si vertical analysis for income statement. So sabi nga po doon, sa income statement, ang ating base item ay si sales. Kung kaya, si sales po ang 100%. Dahil 4,800,000 divided by 4,800,000 is equal to 100%. Though, on the other hand, under din po nito, cost of goods sold is 1,550,000 divided by 4,800,000, we will get the 32.29%. So, ganun po natin siya kinukuha. So, next naman po, bawat line item, ganun din po yung gagawin. For example, 25,000 divided by 4,800,000, we will get the 0.52%. 200,000 divided by 4,800,000 times 100, you will get the 4.17%. And so on and so forth. So, para naman po saan yung use nitong si vertical analysis? Ang use po ni vertical analysis dito is we could already, kaya nga po siya tinawag na common size analysis, is makikita po natin ito yung size ng bawat line item compare sa ating base item. So, ibig sabihin, halimbawa, sa total assets natin, sa lahat ng assets natin, 63.75% doon ay cash. Out of 100%, 25.18% doon ay equipment. 36.25% doon, puro non-current assets. So, as we can see here, lahat ng assets natin, 63.75% doon current, 36.25 doon ay non-current. So, ibig sabihin lamang po nito is, ayun, mas marami tayong current assets compare kay non-current assets. On the other hand, kapag vertical analysis naman po ni income statement, ang ginagawa naman po natin dito ay nakikita natin kung saan napupunta yung kinikita natin. Or ano-ano ba yung mga pinagkakagastusan natin from our sales. So, ibig sabihin, doon sa halimbawang 100 pesos na benta natin, 32.29 doon ay pinambili lang ng materials. Okay? So, 32.29% or 32.29 pesos doon sa materials yan out of 100 pesos. Tapos, kada 100 pesos, may 31.25 kang binabayad sa iyong mga empleyado. Yung 3.75 mo doon para sa utilities. So, with this, makikita po natin kung ano yung pinakamataas na pinagkakagastusan ng business natin. At sa pinakamataas na yon is ang ating mga decision maker ay gagawa po ng mga strategies. Yung business natin or operations natin, gagawa ng strategies para mapababa pa itong mga gastusin na to. Clear po tayo, vertical analysis. So, as you can see here, out of 100%, 32.29% yung ginastos mo for your product, 55.63% naman po ay para sa operations mo. So, ganun siya. That's it for vertical analysis. Now, let's move on to our vertical analysis. So, yun nga siya. Ganyan yung itsura niya. And then, ganito yung itsura niya kapag versus other company. So, ibig sabihin, pinapakita niyan kung, halimbawa, sa company namin, ang Ang cost of goods sold namin, 33% lang. Sa ibang kumpanya, 50% ng kanyang sales, agad, cost of goods sold. So, nakikita natin dito kapag madali siyang naipagko-compare versus sa ibang mga companies. Under balance sheet naman po, ginagawa natin, yun nga po, 100% si total assets. So, yun siya. Next, we have here the horizontal analysis. Under horizontal analysis, this is a financial statement analysis naman po na ginagamit for, ginagamit po siya para po compare from different historical data or from different historical period. So, halimbawa, year 1 versus year 2 or year 2 versus year 3, basta kung ano man po yung ating base period. So, under horizontal analysis, tinatawag din po itong trend analysis. Ulitin natin. Si vertical analysis, tinatawag din common size analysis. Si horizontal analysis naman po ay tinatawag din trend analysis. So, under horizontal analysis, we could already spot here the trends kasi in performance and position. Kadalasan, nakakakita po tayo dito ng mga patterns, sa mga trends, na pwede po nating magamit for forecasting at sa decision making po natin. So, under horizontal analysis, we could use it on income and balance sheet and cash flow. But on this case, sa inyo pong gagawin, for income and balance sheet lang po siya. So, horizontal analysis, it could identify the increasing or descending figures. Kapag positive ang sagot, positive figure or kumaga positive change yung nangyari. Pero kung negative po siya, ang nangyari doon is negative changes. Syempre, negative niya eh. So, it could also exhibit the company's profitability and efficiency and assist investors in analyzing current trend in forecasting. So, an example of a horizontal analysis looks like this. Nasa left side is a financial statement. Right side po natin ay yung ating horizontal analysis. From the word itself, horizontal, pahiga nga po kasi siya. So, kumbaga, ang kino-compare natin, ito kasi ang horizontal, ganito ang vertical. So, sa vertical is pag ganun ang pagkaka-decide natin. Ngayon, sa horizontal analysis is pahiga naman. So, ano nangyayari? So, bakit second year at third year lang po ang nakalagay dito? Kasi po, yung nandoon sa second year, hindi po natin siya maipagko-comparean. Yung first year natin, hindi natin siya mapagko-comparean kasi wala naman siyang previous year. So, kadalasan po kasi dito is kino-compare po natin si previous year versus kay current year. Ang gagawin po natin dito, ayan, so we have two parts. We have the peso change and the percentage change. Under po ng ating peso change, ang peso change po natin is yung difference between the 2 years. So, nang naka-peso, kaya nga siya peso change. So, we have here, para makuha yon 1,159,050 pesos minus 633,000, you will get the 526,050 and 50 pesos. Ulitin ko po. So, 1,159,050 pesos and 633,000, we will get 526,050 centavos. Sa equipment, again, 250,000 po siya ng first year, 250,000 din siya nung second year. So, wala pong changes. Kung kaya, naging 0 po yan siya. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, it's either hindi ka bumili ng bagong equipment o hindi ka talaga bumili ng panibagong equipment. Which is just normal for the first years. Pero since this is just an example for startup business at gawa-gawa lang to ng mga Illuminati, hindi po yan talaga, walang ganong ka-drastic changes na nangyayari. So, halimbawa naman po, on equity, para makuha si 436,050, you just have to get 1,429,050 pesos minus 993,000, you will get 436,050 pesos. To get the percentage change, all you have to do is to divide 436,050 pesos to 993,000 to get the 43.91%. Okay? So, yun po siya on that case. So, next naman po natin for income statement. Hold on. Alright. So, under naman po ng ating horizontal analysis for income statement, ang ginagawa natin ay same lang din naman. So, ang base item lagi natin dito is the previous year. So, 5,280,000 minus 4,800,000, you will get 480,000. 480,000 divided by 4,800,000, you will get the 10%. So, as you can see here po sa ating sales, 10% po lagi ang changes niya. Okay? So, 10% po yung change niya kasi nga po, 'di ba? Claim na po natin 'yan noong gawaan pa lang po ng ating financial assumptions. Ayan. Financial assumptions, sabi doon, 10% change or 10% increase palagi ang ating sales. Ganon din po ang ating mga operating expenses such as promotion, packaging, utilities, supplies, salaries, benefits, 10% lagi din yung increase nila. Kung kaya, ganyan po yung nangyari. Pero pagdating naman sa mga fixed natin, kagaya ng sinabi nyo doon sa financial assumption, kagaya ng rent, ng depreciation, and permits and licenses, 0% in change sila because they are fixed costs. Clear so far? So, paano naman pagdating ng third year? Pagdating po ng third year, ang nangyayari naman po, third year versus the second year. So, 1,596,105 pesos minus 1,159,050 pesos. Kinuha natin yung difference, we will get the 437,055 pesos. To get the percentage change, you just have to get 437,055 divided by 1,159,050. Bakit po sa second year na po yung base natin? Second year na po yung base natin kasi nga po, third year na po yan. Ang previous year niya is yung second year. Ganon din po, pagdating natin dito sa ating income statement, 5,808,000 minus 5,280,000, you will get 528,000. 528,000 divided by 5,280,000, you will get the 10% change. Questions so far, everyone? Wala naman. So, I think we could end the recording